But he read it well. Let's give him a big hand. And let me correct our previous speaker, Stephanie Stone. I am not more important than you. You served our country. They have all served our country. And I am honored to be here with you and all of the rest of you. Let's give her a big hand. You're right, I have been to many LULAC events over the years, really since 1994 when I first got elected and started getting invited to those events. And I've been to Texas, I've been to multiple places here in California, been to events in DC, and I've come to those events for a very simple reason. I understand the role of this organization in building the civil rights movement that opened up the country to me. And before I begin, I'm sorry, let me thank, I grew up in a home where we had to serve ourselves. Let's thank the servers who are here. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes. I'm sorry, got carried away. I think it's important for us to thank the people that serve us, and thank you all. So I understand the role of LULAC and the GI Forum and organizations back when, and veterans like you who opened the country up to me, who gave me a shot. I've often said that your story is the story, whether it was as far back, someone just shared with me that they have documentation that a relative way back when, an ancestor, was served in the Civil War. We actually have been serving in America's wars, in our wars, since the war of the Revolution. But I think it's pretty clear it was World War II that kind of spawned a resurgence among veterans who had fought for our country, who had seen their families, their friends die for our country, come back and say, I love my country, but I want my country to be all that it's held itself out to be. It cannot be a place where just some of us can enjoy the American dream. It has to be a place where no matter what your color or your creed or your sex or your orientation or your religion, I said creed, that you should be able, if you work hard and play by the rules and stand up for what we believe in, be able to enjoy that freedom. So I acknowledge you today. I acknowledge you for the work that you have done, that the founders of LULAC have done, going back all the way to the beginning. And I am very, very clear, as I've said so many times, that I'm here on your shoulders. I remember my inauguration as mayor, and I said, you know, I grew up just a stone's throw away, 4 or 5 miles from City Hall. I had a paper route, and the Herald back then, or the Examiner, it was one of the two. I think it was before the Herald Examiner, for those of you who grew up in LA. And you know, on a Sunday,
I remember them.
well, even during the week, you couldn't ride your bike up the hills of City Terrace. You had to walk it up the hills because the papers were too heavy, and just riding without papers was difficult enough. And of course, if you remember anybody growing up back there were dogs and they came out, and there was Garrett Loma and everything else. But I remember saying, you know, I saw at a distance that City Hall. Didn't really know what it was. Saw it on Dragnet, but never had occasion to walk inside. But I said then, although it was a short walk from City Terrace to City Hall, how long that walk really was when you think about where I started and where so many of us have started. And so even back then and before